Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Do you think Justin Jefferson slept in like a room of cash? Like, what was that cartoon with was it Scrooge McDuck? You guys ever used to watch DuckTales back in the day?
He like jumps into the pot of money.
Yeah, he had like a diving board. He would dive into like a pool of money, basically. Was that Justin Jefferson
last
night?
Might do. Just get a pool and just stick nothing but $100 bills.
Take your pillow out of the pillowcase and just stuff your pillowcase with stacks of cash.
He can afford to do that now.
Yeah. Yes, he can. He is the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. We did our breakdown yesterday, which you can find on the Purple Daily YouTube channel and podcast feeds. We thought it would be fun. We were going to do this yesterday, and then right before the show, boom, breaking news, Justin Jefferson. But we thought it'd be fun because the Monday after every Vikings game during the season, we bring you our hottest Vikings takes. And for the last couple of years, it's been one of the most popular and fun segments that we do. You guys seem to enjoy it and interact well with it. So we figured it's June. We're in the dead of the offseason. We will have Judd's camp notes as a bonus episode today. You're going to be out there charting every pass that the quarterbacks throw. We expect deep analytics.
Not plural. I'll be charting
just JJ?
Every pass that just JJ throws.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we thought it'd be fun to do a June edition of hottest Vikings takes. So we'll go around the room. We'll each give you our hottest June Vikings take. Starting with Judd after we say hello to our friends at Finch Home Solutions, Judd.
Oh, yes, exactly right. Finch, you know what? Finch, this is not a hot take. My friend Cody and his team are going to take care of any electrical needs that you have in your house. That's right. You know what? It's getting to be summertime. This is a big time of the year for remodels. You might be redoing the kitchen or bathroom. Guess what? That's going to take a lot of work from an electronic standpoint. Lighting updates, also big. And Purple Daily customers who spend over $500 will get $100 off. So just tell them, hey, I heard about this on PD, and you will get $100 off if you spend $500. No dispatch fee also for educators in the month of June, and 10% off. So if you're a teacher, you got some time now, guess what? Do the projects now, and Finch Home Solutions will give you a break. 612-357-2604, finchhomesolutions.com. finchhomesolutions.com. It's not a hot take to say they're the best what they do in town.
Not a hot take at all whatsoever. Would you like to lead us off here, Judd, with your hottest June Vikings take?
My hottest June Vikings take, on the heels of Justin Jefferson's contract being done, with him now in a position with a team that, I think has a talented roster, but definitely some question marks. And if you guys recall, and we've discussed this before, you know what? Justin Jefferson's production didn't necessarily suffer statistically when Kirk Cousins was out. Nick Mullins made him look great. Everyone, because you know what? He is great. So here's my hottest take. Justin Jefferson will become the first receiver in NFL history to have 2,000 yards this season.
Wow, dude. Wow.
So in 2024, he is going to become, he's happy. He is, knock on wood, healthy. I think he's going to be a primary target. The Vikings didn't re-sign him not to throw him the football. Sam Darnold's going to get very comfortable, in my opinion, throwing him the ball. I think he goes for 2,000 plus yards. First NFL receiver in history. That's my hot take.
It's like a hot take and a write that down, like rolled into one package here. I love it.
Yep.
Good point.
But I mean, it's plausible. It's very plausible to me.
Just to be clear, are you saying in 2024?
Yes.
So, wow.
I think he's going to do it this year.
What's amazing is, so Nick Mullins, he started like 4 games down the stretch last year. They started like 2 or 3, then he got benched, then he came back.
Yep.
Nick Mullins threw for 396 and like 411 in those 2 games against the Lions to end the season. And Jefferson went off for, what was it, 200 yards in one game or 195 or something?
Yep.
But if he can take Nick Mullins and turn him into a 400-yard passer against one of the best teams in the NFL. And the Lions' defense wasn't exactly vaunted, but yeah, that was something to watch, man.
I also think it's worth pointing out, and this might not be a good thing, but I think it's an advantageous thing if you're Justin Jefferson. Think about the passes that Kirk hesitated to throw. Yeah. Darnold's known for taking far more risks, and Nick
Mullins doesn't hesitate to throw anything.
Exactly. So I mean, here's the thing: some passes might get picked, but JG's going to catch some passes that he simply didn't get thrown to him when Kirk was here. So yeah. I think it really, really, if you put it together, it stacks up well, and his previous stats certainly don't scream, oh, he can't. 2,000 yards.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't. It's a hot take just in that no one's done it.
It's never been done. Yeah.
Yep. Calvin, there's the extra game, and it's going to be done at some point. But the nature of the quarterback situation. So just real quick too, it is funny how quiet that group of people for months and months and months. Those fearmongers.
You trolled him on Twitter yesterday.
This means that Justin Jefferson's only going to play with one quarterback, and if you disrespect that one quarterback and don't back the Brinks truck up, then you might as well send Justin Jefferson packing as well. Guarantee that he's gone if you don't re-sign.
Hold on,
number 8.
I'm trying to hear him now. I can't hear anything.
No, it's because they're quiet. They're shamefully sitting, stewing. Admit you're wrong. That's all you have to do. Go on the internet. Go on Twitter. Go tell your friends, your text threads, you were wrong to fearmonger.
It was among the stupidest claims that I have ever seen in this town in sports.
Yeah. And Justin Jefferson said all the right things. By the way, he has handled all of this his entire career. He's just been nothing but a team player, a leader behind the scenes, hardest working dude, first guy in, last guy out, off season, everything. And, of course, when he's asked at the different functions, hey, do you want Kirk Cousins to re-sign? Of course he's going to say, yes, I love playing with Kirk. But he's also confident enough to what Judd is saying that, and young enough, he's, 11 years younger than the previous quarterback, that he's got to find some sort of path the next 5 or 10 years. Yeah. What does the rest of my career look like? Oh, my God, can I possibly put up numbers with any other quarterback? I mean, he's one of the most confident players in the NFL, for God's sakes. He made up his own touchdown dance. So you think he was sitting in a corner, fetal position, curled up? What will I ever do?
When Kirk retires, I'm done too.
Yeah.
But you'll only be 28. I don't care.
You're 26 and a half, man. What are you doing? So, all right, Justin Jefferson, 2,000 yards. Dex, what's your hottest June Vikings take?
It's been a while.
Let me talk to you.
I'm very excited for this hot take. Love the hot takes we give during the season. I feel like I have been around this take already for the last few weeks, and I feel like I'm just going to cement it right now. My hottest take is J.J. McCarthy is winning the starting quarterback job over Sam Darnold. That is my hot take.
For week one.
For week one. He's going to be your week one starting quarterback. Okay. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to do a lot of things well. He's done a lot of things well in college. He's going to be propped up in a system. And as much as Sam Darnold is obviously the placeholder here, and he's been bogged down by bad organizations, and I actually think there's probably a career as Sam Darnold being a nice little backup, I think J.J. McCarthy's athleticism and just overall vibe that he carries himself with is going to propel him. This is not going to be a longer-term thing where he have to wait and figure out, do we start him after the bye week? When's the soft spot in the schedule to throw a rookie quarterback into the flames here? I think J.J. McCarthy is going to show enough that he can be the starting quarterback right away, not just throw flashes and show these little glimpses of, if he fixes this, and maybe by week 9 he can be our starting quarterback. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to prove in training camp and through these mini camps that he is indeed the starting QB. And it's not Sam Darnold in week 1 in New York against the Giants. J.J. McCarthy will be your starting quarterback in week 1. That is my hottest take.
Wow. I mean, it does have a little bit of a Russell Wilson Seahawks 2012 feel to it, where he was a 3rd-round pick, so he came from even further back in the horse race. But they had signed Matt Flynn, which is laughable now in retrospect. But Matt Flynn had this breakout game. He gets one game to step out of the shadow of Aaron Rodgers. throws 6 touchdowns against the Lions and gets a big contract to be the Seahawks' next quarterback. And Russell Wilson was so impressive as a leader, as an athlete, picking up the offense, that they said, there's no need to wait. Let's just throw him in. He clearly has the attention of the team. And I think it's J.J. McCarthy's personality makes this really interesting, makes Declan's take a realistic one, because he's not going to come in and stay under the radar and be quiet and defer. This dude has won championships in high school, in college. We've gone over some of the stuff just from his college resume when he was a 17-year-old recruit, and times were tough during the pandemic season for Michigan. They were like 2-4. They had lost a game to Indiana for the first time in years and years.
Yeah.
And Jim Harbaugh was on the hot seat. And a 17-year-old J.J. McCarthy gets Twitter fingers and doesn't jump online and say a bunch of dumb, idiotic things that you would later regret. He comes on and he pumps optimism into the Michigan fan base and organization. The most mature tweets you'll ever see from a 17-year-old. I'm just saying, it wouldn't shock me if he came in, and the process is already kind of starting with OTAs and minicamp, and if he just became this captivating leader, and if his picking up of the offense and footwork and mechanics can come along, it wouldn't shock me if Declan's hottest Vikings take comes to fruition.
I think the personality is A+. So I don't think there's anything about his ability to lead or personality that wouldn't allow this. I think this all comes down to the mechanics and where O'Connell thinks that those are at. I think that's the key thing here. Because I don't think McCarthy's going to change, and the best part is he doesn't need to change as a person. But mechanically, O'Connell, the good thing here is he knows exactly what he's watching. The bad thing for McCarthy short term might be that O'Connell knows exactly what he's watching and what he wants. So I think that's the question. Where is he at? And I always go back to this. The one thing that Kirk said is this offense was tough for me. Kirk Cousins' head was swimming, and we had assumed he knew it, and there were a bunch of things he didn't know. And so I don't think they're going to force feed McCarthy too much without being very careful there. But I do think there's something to be said for the demeanor McCarthy's going to bring being absolutely huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Kirk's also to your point about demeanor, he seems a little bit more, first of all, he's very much like a down to the last possible detail guy, to the point where he probably overthinks. He's a perfectionist, and he can get a little bit tight and wound up. Mm-hmm. McCarthy seems also very detailed, but he seems like he steps in and brings levity to the room, whereas Kirk gets a little teeth clenchy sometimes.
Hey guys, watch this pass. Hey, look at that.
Kirk would bring levity too with his fun little dad jokes, and he'd go talk people up. I'm not trying to say that he didn't bring any levity, but they have different personalities in that regard for sure. Okay,
it's a good hot take though. It's not outlandish.
I could also see though. I could see a scenario in which he doesn't play all year.
Yeah.
And it's less about him, and it's more, this is the thing. If let's say he doesn't win the job week 1, and Sam Darnold steps into this vehicle and just drives the hell out of it, Baker Mayfield style in Tampa, just kind of resurrects his career. If Sam Darnold drives the car and is throwing for 250 plus yards and a couple touchdowns every game, and he's hitting all the right notes, he's not turning it over and not taking sacks, and the Vikings are maybe winning more games,
sure,
you're probably not looking for a reason to bench him for McCarthy. So some of it's on, if Darnold starts week 1, some of it's also on him playing poorly at some point and creating an opening for J.J. McCarthy, right?
Or Castle in Teddy's first year,
an
getting
injury.
hurt.
Yeah.
Trying to scramble and gets hurt. That's the one thing about Kirk that until last year, Kirk's Iron Man streak was remarkable. That's not the norm. Dude, until the Achilles in Green Bay, he never got hurt. He started, I think he had missed 2 games, and one was because, or both were because of the fact that the Vikings had locked up their playoff spot.
One was playoff spot, one was COVID.
Oh, COVID. That's right. That's right. In Green Bay. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's the one thing to keep in mind is if Darnold goes down, Does McCarthy step in then? And I think he does. I think he'll be the backup.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Here's my hottest Vikings take for you guys. I feel like it's hard to top what you guys just did, though. You got 2,000 yards for Justin Jefferson, J.J. McCarthy starting week 1. So I'll keep the positive vibes rolling here with my hottest Vikings take. I think the Vikings, it's a 2-part take. I think the Vikings are the most dangerous team this year that nobody is talking about. And I think they are making the playoffs.
Okay.
Most dangerous team that nobody's talking about, and they will find their way to the NFC playoff bracket. If you look at the disrespect from Vegas, the number started at 6.5 before the draft. The latest I saw was 7.5 from a lot of sports books. Mm-hmm. The Vikings won 7 games last year, despite having 2 journeyman backups and a 5th-round rookie start half their games at the most important position. Justin Jefferson missed half the season. And maybe the thing that we're not talking about enough, the Vikings turned the ball over 34 times last year, which was second only to Cleveland, I believe, in the entire league. Now, there's other teams that turn the ball over only like 14, 15, 16 times. And turnovers from year to year can be really volatile. Obviously, if you're starting Nick Mullins for like 4 or 5 games,
say that's not,
you're asking for it. Yeah. But my point is, through starting quarterbacks that are going to turn the ball over less, most likely, fumbles aren't going to go against you the way that they did in every single year.
Yep.
It's pretty rare that you would follow up a 34 turnover season with another 34 turnover season. What if they only turn the ball over 21 times? Like 1 turnover per game almost. They win more games.
And the defense, you didn't even mention that. That's my thing is Brian Flores deserves credit for making something of a defense that really didn't have the personnel last year. This defense, personnel-wise, is without a doubt, even with Daniil gone, it is better.
It's better personnel-wise. You're right. It's funny because you lost Daniil Hunter to free agency, but your edge rusher room is arguably better.
It is better.
And deeper.
No question.
And if Dallas Turner clicks right away, now maybe you've just like straight up replaced Daniil Hunter, and you got Grenard. Andrew Van Ginkel with the foot injury is a bit of a question. But to your point about defense, when Flores was the head coach in Miami, it was year 2 that defense took the really big jump. Year 1, they were still like kind of bottom of the league in a lot of categories. But year 2 is when everyone picked it up. It clicked. They went up to number 6 in scoring defense in Flores' second year in Miami. I also think, in addition to edge rusher, I think they're deeper at cornerback. They're not elite at cornerback, but they've got a couple other options. You got Shaq. You brought in a 3rd-round pick guy from Arkansas, who's 25 years old. You're also, I think, younger and faster at linebacker with Blake Cashman coming in. And I'll add one more thing. Mm-hmm. Sam Darnold. Let's say Sam Darnold is the bulk of the game's starter at quarterback, okay? Mm-hmm. If you look at his handful of starts in Carolina 2 years ago, and then he made 1 start in San Francisco last year, so that's 7 starts. It was 6 in Carolina and then 1 in San Francisco. His teams were 4-3 in his starts. If you extrapolate his numbers in those 7 starts to a full season, 91 passer rating, which was tied with Joe Burrow. If you took his numbers from those 2 seasons, 7 starts extrapolated, and then ranked him last year based on all the starting quarterbacks, he would have been tied with Joe Burrow in passer rating, just ahead of Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, and Jalen Hurts. He would have thrown for 3,500 yards, which would have ranked him about 16th in the NFL. 7.7 yards per attempt, which would have ranked 6th, tied with Dak Prescott. And he would have had a touchdown to interception ratio of 20 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. And that's with most of those starts coming in Carolina with, like, I guess DJ Moore was still there a couple years ago, but just a much better situation now compared to what he was doing there. I'm just saying, like, Sam Darnold could come in and surprise some people too. So that's my hottest take.
Can I have a bonus one? Can I give a second one? Yeah. Can I throw a second fast? Can I get another inning here, Rocco?
Hold on a second. My notes say no. Sorry.
Dude. Yeah, the episode.
You were slated for one, and so no. Yeah.
There's too many lefties coming up. We don't like the splits there. I'll give you another one. The Vikings have a top 5 personnel in the entire NFC. Like look up and down the personnel of all these teams in the NFC. You tell me if the Vikings have a better personnel than these teams, okay? The Packers, personnel-wise.
Packers, yeah. I'd say Packers are better than Vikings.
Personnel, but playmakers, you do?
I mean, look at their defense. Look at their offensive line all the way through.
I feel like their weapons are lacking.
The Packers have a really talented young roster. I mean, we could.
Okay.
I like the Vikings roster, but
the offensive line is always
the Packers
solid.
And the Lions have really good rosters.
And
I would take JJ over like their weapons, obviously.
Yeah. And I think I would give the Lions above the Vikings personnel-wise. I don't think that's a hot take, or I think that's pretty sound. The Bears. Are the Vikings better than the Bears personnel-wise?
I'll take Vikings personnel.
Okay. The Saints.
Vikings.
Okay. Panthers.
Yeah.
Next team.
Yep. Thank you. The Seahawks.
Seahawks, sneaky young talent on defense, but I'll take Vikings. By the way,
Cardinals.
Sam Darnold, kind of a Geno Smith situation, right? Where both were train wrecked and sabotaged by the Jets. Both get a shot with better infrastructure and better organizations later.
Cardinals,
you said?
Vikings.
Yeah.
Cardinals are sneaky, but yeah. If they ever put it together, but that's if they ever put it together.
Yeah.
Commanders.
Vikings.
Giants.
Vikings.
So that leaves a few teams here. Falcons.
Vikings. It's close, though.
Yeah, the offense is sneaky talented.
And side rant, like the Falcons, this person, for 3 years, they had their personnel is great. Well, is it great?
Well, that
Is it
was
great?
an Arthur Smith problem, though.
Yeah,
Bijan
we'll find out.
Robinson was
We'll find
so misused. Art Smith was a jackass with the way that he used those guys.
So I didn't list a few other teams outside of the Buccaneers, Cowboys, and Eagles.
I mean, yeah, your point, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a lot of talent, no question.
Oh, yeah, this is more of a conversation, too. But I think when you look at the state of the NFC, the Vikings have a top 5 personnel group. I really think they do.
And so if you have a quarterback that just isn't a train wreck.
Yeah.
Well, and if you can use I will say this from a Vikings coaching standpoint, too. And we will obviously not know this until opening day, but what are your intentions with the run game? You know? You need to be dedicated way more, I think, to it. And
especially with J.J. McCarthy. That's what he's used to coming from Michigan.
And you've got the components to do it now. Yeah. So I mean, it was very weird. It's like they stuck with Alexander Madison last year, but they clearly, for good reason, eventually didn't trust him. But they continued to stick with him. So my question now is, if you have guys that you trust, how much does that change that dynamic?
Well, I don't think they trusted Ty Chandler to just step in and
no, they didn't
pick up. So it was kind of they viewed Alexander Madison as the lesser of the evils. They didn't. Right. They clearly didn't love the room of running backs. But then you bring in Aaron Jones, and he's one of the most trustworthy running backs, 3 down backs in the entire league.
And Ty Chandler proved he deserves a chance too.
Yeah.
I understand he is not a 3 down guy. He's not, but I mean he finally showed, and they finally said, okay, we'll give you a chance. And there's something there.
Can I add a hot take?
Yeah, that's great.
There's 3 friends slinging hot takes in June here, okay?
Sweepers.
I'll give you this hot take after Declan gives us a hot take about the Meadows at Mystic. What's your hottest Meadows at Mystic take?
You can shoot 106 there, and you are loved. That's the best part. And look, golf is a sport where everyone, kind of feels like they gotta shoot a certain score. We're getting rid of that from other golf courses, and that's why I like playing at the Meadows at Mystic Lake. Because yes, it's a scenic and beautiful and challenging course, but guys like Dex can show up, fire a 108, and have the time of his life. You can be like me, or if you're actually good and you are breaking 80, you can also have the time of your life. Go to golfthemeadows.com. It's a great golf course, a short drive down here from the Twin Cities. I know some of our draft party guys checked it out too from a few months ago. So go check out the Meadows at Mystic Lake. Go book your tee time. golfthemeadows.com.
Our friends at Federated Insurance are helping us power our business on a regular basis here at Score North, Purple Daily. And if you're a business owner out there and you happen to listen to Purple Daily, maybe pull your listening device closer so you can hear what I'm about to say, because you want to make sure as a business owner that you have a game plan to stay focused on safety, preventing claims, things that maybe are not top of mind as you're involved in the business day to day. Well, the team at Federated is here to help you with these things. Federated Insurance offers a customizable lineup of industry-specific coverages and risk management services to help you continue your winning streak. At Federated Mutual Insurance Company, it's our business to protect yours. You can find out more at federatedinsurance.com. Okay, Declan said for his bonus hottest Vikings take that the Vikings have a top 5 roster in the NFC. I will say the Vikings are set up top 5 among any organization in the NFL going into 2025. You start to make a checklist of the way this thing is set up, okay? So even after the Justin Jefferson contract, the Vikings have the 7th most cap space of any team in the league spring of 2025. They might also be able to roll over some of their unused cap space from this year into next year, but they're going to have top 5, top 6, top 7 money to spend in free agency next year's books. They also have a first-round pick to add some sort of defensive tackle or cornerback. And even before we talk about who they might add, let's look at who they have. Justin Jefferson, best receiver in the NFL. Jordan Addison had one of the biggest rookie seasons a wide receiver has had in years with the 10 touchdowns. When Jefferson wasn't on the field, he looked like a number 1. TJ Hawkinson, top 5 pass catching tight end. Christian Darrisaw, top 3, top 5 left tackle, and Brian O'Neill on the right side. You also may have hit in this draft on a franchise quarterback rookie scale contract and a franchise edge rusher rookie scale contract. So, not to mention Brian Flores, premier defensive coordinator, Kevin O'Connell, up-and-coming offensive-minded coach. You give me the current roster, and you give me J.J. McCarthy maybe stepping into a franchise role, and cap space and a first-round pick. Open that window, baby, in 2025. Open it wide.
You would sure love to see Flores see this through as well. Like, I don't know. I mean, he didn't even get a sniff, but partially because his suit is ongoing against the league. He didn't even get a sniff at a head coaching job after the season. So I guess my question is this, because I would feel very good if the defensive talent that we're talking about is coordinated by Flores, like through 25. I'm not saying you can't replace him, but I also think that there is this default thinking of, well, just get a guy from his staff to replace him on it. There's a difference between being a coordinator and a head coach, and there's a difference between being a position coach and a coordinator.
Yeah, there's an art form to everything, to the teaching, the play calling.
And what Brian Flores did last season cannot be denied. I mean, it was super impressive. So that's my one question is I would sure love to keep him, because I don't think that we can assume that his replacement is going to be as good. And he is a guy that it's very, very clear they just completely trust, which is a nice thing, because we've also seen the flip side when you trust a guy that doesn't know what he's doing. But I'm with you. I think the window opens in 25. It might not be all the way, but it opens for sure pretty wide. And then 26, that sucker should be in ideal shape to be wide open.
Wide open. Wide open.
Damn it.
That's right.
There it is.
Waving that flag.
Right by the microphone. You can hear it.
Jefferson is speaking as we record this podcast right now to the media after doing his $140 million photo op with Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi, and Mark Wilf also joining the photo op here.
I hope so. He's writing the check.
Yeah. So he's talking about all the things he's going to spend money on now that he has $140 million coming his way. Judd, you're going to be heading out here after we push stop on this record to mandatory minicamp. And later on this afternoon, we'll hit you with some Judd's camp notes for a bonus episode.
Yep, day 1 of 3, and now ordinarily they do beg the last one and like go bowling or something, or go play mini golf. But yes, at least 2 days of mandatory minicamp followed by another round of OTAs next week, including one that I can go to and get stuff from, and then it is training camp. And yes, I will also be. If you check out the Score North social feeds, I will be providing our guy AJ with some photos of Justin Jefferson, hopefully catching passes from perhaps JJ McCarthy.
Some quality video and photo content coming from,
because that's what I do.
Judd.
I am really, really talented when it comes to photos.
All right. Also, if you're wondering where to get these JJ to JJ Purple Daily official shirts, you can find them at the Score North shop, scorenorth.com/shop. That's scorenorth.com/shop. I believe all of our Flagrant Howls apparel is on major discount right now too. Just not even no promo code needed. It's just on discount. You can find all sorts of things at scorenorth.com/shop.
Very nice.
Yep. All right, dudes. There's your hottest Vikings takes in June here on Purple Daily.
Multiple hot Vikings takes.
Multiple hot takes.
We came out with 5. We were going to get 3 scheduled. We gave you 5. I don't know what more you could ask for besides the Super Bowl before we die at some point.
All right.